Now recently I have ranked the top 10 League 2 goalkeepers and centre-backs from the 24-25 campaign, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best fullbacks in my personal opinion. If you do want to enjoy today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. 150 likes as always would be massively appreciated, and don't forget to get your top 10 in down in the comment section down below. Now I must specify that this is fullbacks or in some cases wing-backs, but people like Josh Nerfield, James Tilley, Jody Jones, who are wingers who sometimes operate as wing-backs, will not be included in the fullbacks ranking. They will be included in the wingers section, which we'll be doing in a couple of weeks. So that is very important to note. There is, I would probably say, maybe one winger on here, but he's played wing-back and even full-back for like the last 4 years. So he's going in on this list. Let's get straight into it. In at 10th position then, I'm going to go with Anthony Glennon of Newport County. Now, I was having a look at a few of the different options that we could go for. Anthony Glennon this season has actually provided 8 assists for Newport County, which I think is a really good return. He's got a 22% accurate cross rate as well. He's created 13 big chances, averages 1.1 key passes per game as well. He's played over 30 matches, 2,800 minutes as well. He hasn't actually scored so far this season, but I feel like for a fullback to get 8 assists for what has been for the large part of this season a struggling Newport side, I would assume a lot of them are from set pieces, but he's also managed to keep the 7 clean sheets, 1.6 tackles per game, 2.7 balls recovered per game, and 3.2 clearances per game as well. He has had 4 errors which have led to a shot, which is obviously why he's not higher up on this list, but none which have led to a goal and no penalty offences committed. He wins 52% of his ground duels, but only 42% of his aerial duels. But I must admit, I was very surprised by his creativity, the amount of assists that he has achieved so far this season. And yes, he's part of a Newport defence, which I think have conceded the most goals in the entire division, but I wouldn't really say he's largely at fault for that. So Anthony Glennon for me is in at 10th position. In 9th place, we're going to go with Jamie Sterry of Doncaster Rovers. Now, I think I'm right in saying it was announced today that he has signed a new 2-year contract with the football club, and I do think he deserves to be on this list, in my opinion. Played over 30 matches, nearly 2,800 minutes as well. Is yet to score, but has provided these 6 assists so far this season with a 26% accurate cross rate, 4 big chances created, 1.1 key passes per game. The lack of clean sheets is really letting him down, and why I can't put him higher up on this list, but he's certainly better than Tom Nixon, in my opinion, who is obviously his competition in that position. 7 clean sheets for him so far this season, 1.6 tackles per game, 2.7 balls recovered per game, and 2 clearances per game as well. He has had 1 error which has led to a shot, but he does win 57% of his ground duels and 47% of his aerial duels. So the Doncaster Rovers number 2 is in at 9th. In 8th place, I'm going to go with Brad Halliday of Bradford City. Now, up until around Christmas time, he did have a few inconsistencies and wasn't quite himself from last season, but since Christmas he has been absolutely outstanding. Okay, against Port Vale on Tuesday, you know, he was pretty poor, but we're talking about 1 bad game in 4 months. I think for the large part of this season, Brad Halliday has been good because of his inconsistencies at the start of the season. It's why I can't put him any higher, but loves a goal, loves an assist over the last couple of seasons, although I think I'm right in saying it's just 1 goal and 1 assist for him so far this campaign. He's played nearly 3,000 minutes as well, which to say he was second choice right wing back at the start of the season, and up until around Christmas sort of time, I do think it's a big credit to him to have now played that level of football. He's a 21% accurate cross rate. Defensively, his stats are pretty solid as well. 2.1 tackles per game, 3.1 balls recovered per game, and 2.3 clearances per game as well. He wins 52% of his ground duels, 47% of his aerial duels, but his engine down that right-hand side has been very important for Bradford City, and he's been a big part of our winning run and the unbelievable run that we have gone on post-Christmas as well. So the former Doncaster Rovers man is in at 8th position. In 7th place, I'm going to go with Aaron Nemane of MK Dons. Now, I did mention there is 1 former winger but has played as a wing back or full back for the large part over the last couple of years. So Aaron Nemane is in. Again, I must remind you, people like Josh Nerfield, James Tilley, Jody Jones, they'll all be in the wingers in my personal opinion, because I do want to include some wing backs in the full backs ranking, but you're not going to play Jody Jones as a right back in a back 4, for example. But Aaron Nemane, for me, I think you certainly could play him in at that position, because defensively he isn't great, but he's also not awful. 1.5 tackles per game, 2.3 balls recovered per game, and 1.2 clearances per game as well. He does only win 15% of his aerial duels, which is obviously not great. 47% of his ground duels isn't awful, but what he brings going forward is absolutely excellent. 9 assists for him so far this season. season in what has, for the large part, been an awful MK Dons team. Offensively, they've not been too bad, but defensively, they have been all over the place, and that is why I can't put Nemane any higher on this list. 18% accurate cross rate. Again, there is certainly a few more who are higher up on this list. He's created the 9 big chances so far this season, is yet to score a goal, but I think for a player who's playing in the wing-back or full-back positions, to have got nearly 10 goal contributions in a team that have really struggled for the large part this season, Aaron Nemane has to be in on this list, and he's in at 7th for me. In 6th position, I'm going to go with Nick Tsaroulla of Notts County. I think I've finally nailed the pronunciation of his name, because goodness me, it took about a year, really. I've been ranting and raving about this guy from around January sort of time, where he tore Brad Halliday apart last season at Crawley. I was disappointed we didn't sign him in the summer. Obviously, he did go on to at Notts County, and I do think he has had a pretty decent season. Obviously, last night got a goal against MK Dons. He has only started 25 games this season, despite playing 35 in the league. He's played nearly 2,200 minutes. He has got the 2 goals so far this campaign. I think I'm right in saying he's only the second person that we've mentioned to have actually scored a goal so far, and the first who's got more than one so far this season. He has also got the 2 assists with a 14% accurate cross rate. 84% of his passes are accurate. He might only have 2 assists, but he's created the 8 big chances so far this season. If he didn't have Alessandro Jatta stood up front, who takes about 20 chances to actually score a goal, Nick Tsaroulla, you could be looking at nearly double figures for goal contributions. He averages 1 key pass per game as well, and defensively he's pretty solid with 1 tackle and clearance per game and 2.3 balls recovered per game as well. He wins over 50% of his ground duels and over 40% of his aerial duels. I think there's certainly been better than him this season, but he definitely deserves to be on this list. Both footed as well, can play right wing back or left wing back. I think certainly performs better on the left, in my opinion. We can get 1v1, go on the outside, but even when he's playing on the right hand side and he cuts in on that left foot, very tidy player. So Nick Tsaroulla's in at 6th. Before we do any further though with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. 150 likes as always would be massively appreciated, and don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. In at 5th position then, I'm going to go with Mitchell Clark of Port Vale. Now, I believe he has struggled with injury so far this season, as he has only started the 10 league games. He's not even played 900 minutes so far this season, but what I saw of him on Tuesday and the bits and pieces that I've seen of him throughout the season when he has been fit and available, he is a top player for this level. I've always really been a fan of him throughout his time at Accrington. Then he got his move to Port Vale, was okay in League One, but this season when he has been available, I do think he has been very good down that right hand side. Obviously got his first goal of the season on Tuesday with a really good header, just wanted it more than Adaramola. I don't think he's registered an assist so far this season, but he's got a 42% accurate cross rate. I know he's aiming for Jaden Stockley in the middle, but that is absolutely outstanding for a player who's played, nearly 1,000 minutes. Defensively, it looks pretty solid as well. 1.4 tackles per game, 2.5 balls recovered per game, and 2.1 clearances per game as well. He did obviously commit the penalty offence on Tuesday, which was saved by Ben Amos, unfortunately. But Mitch Clark, for me, I do think if he'd have been fit and available for the full season, I think certainly would have helped contribute to Port Vale, been a little bit higher up in the table. So his injuries is the reason why I can't put him higher on this list, but I still certainly think he's been good enough to deserve to at least be in the top 5 for me. And speaking of Adaramola, he is in at 4th place. Obviously, Bradford City signed him on loan on the winter deadline day because obviously Lewis Richards picked up a shoulder injury against AFC Wimbledon. Then eventually Richards came back fit. He got back into the team and injured himself in his first game. So Adaramola has played a lot of football recently. Again, on Tuesday, similar to Brad Halliday, was very poor, was largely at fault for the second goal. Mitch Clark just wanted it more than him, and he does need to be better from that point of view. But offensively, he is absolutely outstanding. He's played in the 10 games for us so far this season, played nearly 750 minutes. Is yet to score, but has provided the 2 assists so far, creating 3 big chances and averages 1.2 key passes per game. He has a 38% accurate cross rate, which when you're aiming for Callum Kavanagh, for example, I think that's really impressive in my opinion. His ability to get 1v1 and take a man on is excellent. I would certainly say he performs better at home than away from home. Performs quite well on big pitches as well. Defensively, I wouldn't say he's amazing, but statistically, he actually doesn't look awful. 2.9 tackles per game, 3.3 balls recovered per game, and 1.1 clearances per game as well. Again, aerially, he's not going to be amazing. Only 32% of duels won, and even on the ground, only 42% of the duels won. But when you watch him, 34% successful dribble rate. In my personal opinion, I really do rate Adaramola, and I hope that we can bring him back for next season, regardless if we're in League One or League League Two. I think he certainly deserves to be on this list, and he's in 4th. Into my top 3 then, in 3rd place, I'm going to go with Connor Barrett of Walsall FC. Now, recently, I do think he has started to tire a little bit and his performance levels have dipped, and maybe you put that down to Matt Sadler just refusing to use his squad for the large part. Obviously, he did pick up his 10th yellow card of the season against Bromley, so he has recently been serving a 2-game ban and hasn't played for around 3 weeks or so now. But so far this season, he has played nearly 3,200 minutes. He's played in 38 games for the Saddlers so far this season in the league. He's yet to score a goal, but has registered the 8 assists so far this season, creating the 8 big chances with a 20% accurate cross rate, which I think is pretty solid in all honesty. Defensively, he's pretty tidy as well at 2.1 tackles per game, 3.1 balls recovered per game, and 1.5 clearances per game as well. No errors which have led to a goal or a shot, and no penalty offences committed either. He wins nearly 50% of his aerial duels and 45% of his ground duels. I think there has been a couple of players better and more consistent than Barrett throughout the full campaign, and obviously he has been a big part as to why Walsall were so successful in the first half of the season. Recently, his levels might have dropped a little bit, as you can see by the ratings he's been getting from SofaScore, but Connor Barrett for me, he's in at 3rd place. Into my top 2 then, at 2nd place, I have Denver Hume of Grimsby Town, obviously out of contract with the football club this summer, but you look at the consistency levels that he has provided so far this campaign. He has played a lot of football, 39 league matches for him, nearly 3,250 minutes played as well. Despite not actually scoring a goal so far this season, he has registered the 10 assists, which I think is the most amount in the entire division. He's created 16 big chances and averages 2.2 key passes per game. He has a 32% accurate cross rate. Absolutely outstanding. He's probably been one of Grimsby's best players so far this season. I know there are a few Mariners fans not happy with me not having Cameron McJanet in my top 10 for centre backs, but Denver Hume for me is definitely in at 2nd place in terms of best fullbacks in the division so far this campaign. Defensively, pretty solid as well at 9 clean sheets, 1.8 tackles per game, 3.7 balls recovered per game, and 2.6 clearances per game as well. But he has had 3 errors which have led to a shot and 1 error which has led directly to a goal as well. So that's the reason why he's not in at 1st place. But he does win 60% of his ground duels, only 40% of his aerial duels. But again, he has a 60% successful dribble rate. He's got an absolute wand of a left foot, and in my personal opinion, he has to be on this list, and I'm putting him in at 2nd place. And the best fullback in League 2 this season, in my personal opinion, is Ben Jackson of Barrow AFC. Now, the vibes that I get from Ben Jackson are very similar to the vibes that I feel or felt around Nick Tsaroulla last season. Now, unfortunately, Ben Jackson still has another 2 years remaining on his contract, but I've been massively impressed with him so far this season. Can play on the left side or on the right side. He's double-footed, can play either way, and the amount of goal contributions he's had so far this season is absolutely outstanding. Played in 39 matches, played 3,350 minutes, so again, the best ability is availability, and he's certainly been available so far this season. He has got the 1 goal, which was obviously in the Bluebirds' 1-0 win away at Port Vale a couple of weeks ago. He does actually only have a 2% goal conversion rate, which obviously isn't ideal, but 9 assists for him so far this season, creating the 13 big chances, averaging 1.3 key passes per game. He's kept 8 clean sheets in a Barrow side which have largely struggled, especially defensively so far this season, but he averages 1.6 tackles per game, 4.1 balls recovered per game. I think I'm right in saying that's the most out of all the fullbacks that we have covered in today's video, and 3.1 clearances per game as well. He has a 57% successful dribble rate. He wins 62% of his ground duels, 57% of his aerial duels, and I think even at times this season he has done a job as a wide side centre back in a back 3. But I've been massively impressed with Ben Jackson so far this campaign, so in my personal opinion, I believe he has been the best fullback in the division this season.